Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub. As we have set the target of completing 200 books in the entire year, here comes the book number 182. The name of the book that we have today is The Art of Aliveness, written by Flora, Bowley. Let us see the target readings and the top 3 lessons of this book. The 23-year-old aspiring writer who is currently struggling through college, the 55-year-old entrepreneur going through a divorce, and anyone who is creative practice has become stale. Let us see the small synopsis. The Art of Aliveness is a collection of 14 ideas to let your life feed off a creative practice and vice versa, rooted in personal anecdotes, backed up with the practical exercises, and full of inspiration to live a rich, well integrated life. Let us listen from the author herself, Flora Bowley. Aliveness honors darkness and light, growing more palpable with the contrast. Aliveness is creativity, aliveness is the moment, aliveness is the connection. When she sat down for her first college painting class at 19 years old, Flora Bowley's professor walked into the room and said, "Well, we all have 1,000 bad paintings in us. So let's get going. What a way to start a career in art." Well, we all have 1,000 bad paintings, so let us get going. More than 25 years later, Flora had indeed painted well over 1,000 paintings. Along the way, painting has become more than a hobby or a job. It grew into a dear friend, present for all the highs and lows of Flora's life, and responsible for many of them. In the art of aliveness, a creative return to what matters most, she explains this connection. Aliveness, as she defines it, is when we let what we learn from our creative practice inform our everyday lives and vice versa. This book is a collection of 14 ways to cultivate this two-way connection. And it is an interesting book combining creativity, spirituality, philosophy, professionalism, and reflection into a unique, holistic recipe for life. Bowley is never condescending and always encouraging. Artists are not give her ideas, you try. Let us see the top 3 lessons. Here are 3 of Flora's ideas to reignite your creativity and integrate your life. Lesson number 1. Use your life baskets, appropriately to maintain the right balance between comfort and risk. Second important lesson is river banks are artificial limits that will give you your creative practice and life the structure it needs. And the third important lesson is life has as many layers as a painting. Balance happens when we use rituals to actively manage them. Let us discover the art of aliveness. Lesson number 1. Both life and art are a dance between comfort and risk, and your baskets are how you keep your balance. Bowley accomplished any passionate creative's dream in her 30s. She could live entirely off making her own art. To her surprise, she felt lonely instead of fulfilled. A friend prompted her to try teaching. Flora did not know if anyone would show up to her first workshop or even how to teach. What started as a totally improvised class, including yoga and meditation later, became her signature intuitive painting style. For the first time ever, I felt like all the parts of myself were invited to hang out in the same room, Bowley says. But it took a step into the unknown to figure out this part of her calling. Now, Flora uses a metaphor to keep the balance between comfort and risk, which is nothing but baskets. Your basket contains all the tools, techniques, and knowledge you have acquired throughout your career. It is always there, ready when you need it. But it is important to keep your basket behind you when you are worthy. It is important to keep your basket behind you when you are working. Flora says that. It is easy to go back to whatever we have mastered, but if we do, if all we do is rely on familiar knowledge, habits, tools, and decisions, we will never learn nor create anything new. We also have life baskets, Flora says. Sometimes those need to stay behind as well. The alternative to growth is stagnation, and stagnation is the opposite of the aliveness. How do you find the courage to let go of comfort and step into risk when it is necessary? Ask yourself one question. Would I rather be comfortable and stagnant or uncomfortable and alive? Let us move on to the lesson number 2. Use river banks to give your life and creative practice the structure they need for you to perform without overwhelm. Legendary dancer and author of The Creative Habit, Twyla Tharp, believed that before you think out of the box, you have to start with a box. Bowley confirms this. Flora is a free spirit, but too much freedom does not lead to perfect self-expression. It just leads to creative decision fatigue. Having once meditated 10 hours a day at a Vipassana retreat, Flora knows restrictions can be liberating. She calls them river banks. They can be anything as long as they limit options and invite focus. So, by the way, in the Vipassana retreat, there will be a 10 days, 10 hours a day meditation in 10 days program. One time she decided to use Prussian blue, some sketches of trees, and a triangle-shaped potato stamp for her next painting. With this simplified framework in place, I felt my shoulders start to relax. Freedom is great, but it is not a cure-all. Often, less is more. Constraints help us think and zone in a goal. Try the following exercise. Make a drawing or collage of a river. You might have your picture in your mind, the blue waves or drawing of a river. Write your goal inside the river. Next, draw some river banks around the river and fill them with the constraints that will help you achieve the goal. Your goal could be practicing piano every day. Suppose in the river, you write practicing piano every day. Improving your back strength or starting a business, any of these three. River banks could be repeat only these 3 songs this month. Select any 3 songs and repeat these 3 songs in the month. Or don't lift more than 10 kg is another constraint for improving your back strength. And if you want to start a business, use only free tools to build my website. One more thing, as river meander, their river banks change. It's okay to switch your constraints every month, every week, or even day, depending on your needs. Pick whatever limitations support your goal and stick to them until they have served their purpose. Think outside the box, but never forget your box. So think out of the box, but never forget your box. Let us move on to the lesson number 3. Like a painting, life has many layers. Embrace them all to move smoothly between your past, present, and future. Years ago, Flora's mom was diagnosed with the late-stage cancer. She died just 7 weeks later. The tragedy became a season of many layers, both in Flora's paintings and life. She translated anger, grief, fear onto the canvas, and the paintings from that time are some of her most interesting. Rituals can convert grief into compassion, fear into insight, and anger into the righteous hope, Bowley says. Painting can be such a ritual. So can be a rowing a boat across a lake, writing a journal, or attending a Burkina grief ceremony. Here is an idea for a ritual to help you break a rut. First, remember a difficult time in your life, whatever the most challenging time of your life. Write a few lines about it. Then come up with a body position that feels like it captures that experience. Remain in that position, then draw a symbol to sum everything up. It could be a circle, it could be a hand sign, it could be a breaking chains, whatever the symbol. So sum up your entire experience in the single symbol. Second step is repeat the same 4 steps: reflecting, writing, posturing, and drawing. Reflect your challenging time, write about the situation, posture about all the main activities, and draw a symbol for your present and your future. How do you feel right now? Where do you want to be in a few years? Answer these type of questions with the help of these 4 steps. And the third idea for a ritual is equipped with all the 3 positions, physically shift from one into the another. How does it feel to literally go from the past to present to future? Also play with your symbols. Do they align? Do they match? Perhaps even add up to a fourth symbol. Means collect all the symbols and combine the symbols together. Whether our past will be only be the hidden foundation of our future or actively peek out in our everyday lives is up to us. But one thing is sure, Bowley believes each layer and each story of our life set the stage for the next chapter to unfold. Let me repeat the powerful statement. Each layer and each story of our life set the stage for the next chapter to unfold. Let me repeat the quotation that we have seen. Aliveness honors the darkness and light, growing more palpable with the contrast. Aliveness is the creativity. Aliveness is the movement. Aliveness is the connection. Flora Bowley made 1,000 paintings, and the reason behind that is her professor said, well, we all have 1,000 bad paintings in us, so let us get going. Then after she worked on the 1,000 paintings, once she completed the 1,000 paintings, she came into the one beautiful painting that made her life entirely changing. And she expressed all her emotions in terms of the painting. The 3 lessons that we have seen here is use your life baskets appropriately to maintain the right balance between the comfort and risk. There is a balance between comfort and risk. So she maintained that risk balance with the help of life baskets. And the second thing is river banks are artificially limits. Whenever she felt some goal has to be achieved, she take a paper and she draw the river and the river banks. So river, inside the river, she used to write the goal and the constraints in the river banks. What are the examples we have seen? Here are the examples. If you want to start a business, the constraints are use only free tools to build a website. If you want to practice piano every day, repeat only 3 songs in this month. Like that type of you write constraints on the river bank, and in the river you can write your goal. And the third powerful technique we have seen is life has many layers as a painting. Balance happens when we use rituals to actively manage them. She combined the painting with yoga and meditation as she went for Vipassana retreat. So you can also combine with multiple things so that you can explore the new things creatively as well as collectively. See you in another book summary. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing, share your beautiful painting Share your learnings when you paint something in your life.